Unless you've been living under a rock these last couple of months, you've probably heard of Italian Brainrot, which took social media by storm and blew up very, very quickly. But I'm pleased to announce that the Italian Brainrot era has ended, and honestly, it's about time. Trust me, you'll think so too because of the darker connotations that I'll explain later in this video as we go through the whole story of Italian Brainrot. I don't think we should start without defining what Brainrot is though. Brainrot, through Oxford's definition, recognized in the late 2024, refers to, quote, the perceived decline in mental or intellectual state, particularly attributed to excessive consumption of low-quality, unchallenging online content, end quote. So it's basically something that's so overstimulated and low quality, it practically rots or melts your brain. Now this word actually got word of the year for 2024, and that literally does not make sense to me, because how could a word like this be recognized as not just a word, but the word of the year? But then I did some digging, and apparently word of the year is picked by a vote. So obviously all the 5-year-olds definitely picked that word. For context, 2023's word was Riz, so I guess we can take this whole word of the year thing by Oxford as a literal joke. Alright, although Brainrot was recognized by Oxford in late 2024, it had actually been used as slang before, commonly associated with the rise of Skibbity Toilet. You've probably seen it before if you were scrolling during 2023. But for a short context, it's basically talking toilets. But I think we got a bit off topic. Our main focus is Italian Brainrot, which started recently less than 8 months ago. Even though Italian Brainrot started during January 2025, it was actually first referenced during October 2025, and it was referenced to the memes featuring the phrase "trallalero tralala," appeared as parodic Italian rhymes, I don't know how to say that, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Now I'll admit, I couldn't find much videos about this topic, the Wikipedia referencing was all I have, but I imagine it looks something like this. Glaze rock, blah blah blah, trallalero tralala. Alright, if you didn't like my singing, you should've. Now, just to specify, the words trallalero tralala in Italian apparently mean I'll pass it on. I'm not Italian, but Google Translate and sites like Reddit agree with this claim, so if you have a problem with the translation, you can take it up there. Now, these memes did have traction, but apparently weren't anything close to viral views, and were instead in the thousands and 10,000s of views. Now, 2 long years later, we get something we didn't ask for. In January 2025, user EasyBurger401 posted a video of trallalero tralala, reportedly becoming banned soon after. Now, I'll let you see the video for yourself.
Trallallero trallalla, trallalelo ramadalila.
Now this is absolute garbage and complete slop, but I guess people liked it because the video of the AI-generated shark with shoes would soon get over 7 million views in just a few weeks. This rise led to the specific character, oh my god, namely trallalero tralala, being used plenty of times with total views over all accounts and platforms, easily surpassing 100 million views. Now, I'm sure you're wondering why I only let the audio of this clip run for the first few seconds before I took over, and that was because of a darker connotation that these memes have. The rest of the audio contains blasphemy and profanity against the Islamic God, and has hate towards Muslims, so I can't show it on this platform. I'm not Muslim, but I don't think hate towards any religion is warranted. However, if you really wanted to, there are other videos that do have the full audio. Don't see why you try and look for it though. As I said before, because of the audio, the user was banned soon after, so it won't be possible to access the original through the account. Now, obviously, platforms do what they do best, and many creators started copying these AI-generated brainrot animals because creators wanted to take advantage of the high fame that trallalero tralala, the shark with shoes, was getting. I won't spare you the details, but some of the most popular ones created are Chimpanzini Bananini, a chimpanzee in a banana, Bombardino Crocodile, a bombing crocodile, and Ballerina Cappuccina, which is basically a tutu dancer with a coffee cup head. It literally hurts my head to look at this stuff, and genuinely, I can't believe kids are consuming this kind of thing. Like, I really can't comprehend how this can be entertaining at all. But the people loved it somehow, and platforms lit up with tags like Italian Brainrot, fast becoming a full subculture with fanfiction, ranking quizzes, lore, and I'll show you one of the millions of videos that I found. See, this literally hurts to watch, and kids definitely need to get out of this dopamine rush. Furthermore, even games like Italian Brainrot Clicker making its way up to millions of views online. I actually opened the website, and it's basically just a cookie clicker with a Brainrot object instead. Now, as I said before, these memes do have a darker connotation, something many don't talk about. Often in the background noise of Bombardino, a crocodile, oh my god, it hurts to say. There's a song in the background. Now, I'm obviously not going to let you hear it because of fear for getting banned, but if you translate the song's in Italian, by the way, it says, a flying alligator that flies and bombs children in Gaza and Palestine, and the song ends with, oh my god, I'm stuttering so much. If you translated all that, then you are an a-hole, don't break the joke, prostitute. So this meme isn't exactly a good and funny meme either. I, for one, believe that talking about bombing children isn't actually a good thing, no matter the situation. Anyways, by April 2025, dozens of such characters existed, complete with imagined relationships, sisters, rivals, spouses, and fan-made encyclopedias to document them. Not to hate on anyone, but imagine what a no-life you'd have to be to make an actual guide for this kind of slop. Even more commercial products followed, and meme coins launched, as well as NFTs and toys. Kinda makes me sad that the kids are addicted to this instead of something that's actually good or entertaining at the very least. Not this Brainrot, but I guess it was enjoying to little kids. So that was the background and the rise of Brainrot. Now I'm going to talk about its peak, mainly during spring 2025, specifically through the months of April, May, and June. At the peak during May, estimates counted nearly 77,000 TikTok videos tagged #Italian Brainrot, so there was more, with many videos hitting tens or hundreds of millions of views. Fan-made encyclopedias cataloged over 35 characters by that time, and many said that 10% of the page was filled with Brainrot, and that it was impossible to scroll on any platform without encountering the Brainrot. Now, obviously, YouTube and other platforms do show you what you engage in, so saying that you can't scroll without seeing Brainrot might be an exaggeration, because that would mean that you engage in Brainrot. However, this is another way of saying its widespread dominance and how it was unavoidable to come across. Now, this Brainrot also got a Roblox game called Steal a Brainrot, which drew millions of concurrent players. I personally think this idea was smart because you're capitalizing on the Brainrot's 15 minutes of fame. So the creator, although supporting this ridiculous idea, is definitely smart for taking advantage of the fame. Now, an important fact has also been brought to my knowledge, mainly the fact that a meme coin called Italian Rot was created in March 2025. And I can't believe people bought this coin, but the coin did go up in value from April to May, and it was there that it saw its peak value. I'll talk about what happened after, but I don't want to disclose it now, sorry, I need to keep you watching. Another big moment during this peak was the release of Italian Brainrot musical on May 1st, 2025. Even though it was just another low-effort meme song, the video somehow worked, and the video blew up with over 8.7 million views, showing just how huge this trend had become. I'll spare you the trouble of watching it yourself. It's basically someone singing all of these Brainrot characters' names. This creator is smart as well because it dropped at the perfect time too, definitely capitalizing on the fame. To summarize everything I've said before, by late April and May 2025, Italian Brainrot was everywhere, spawning viral content, fan cultures, merchandise, and gaming memes. This was the peak though, because like most viral memes, it only goes downhill from there. After that explosive period, late May through June 2025, the wild momentum began slowing, and we'll cover the reasons that contributed to its fall. The backlash is the first thing I should go into because parents and media raised flags about casual cruelty, blasphemous language, and Islamophobic undertones tied to characters like Bombardino Crocodile and Tralero Tralala. Many educators banned the content in classrooms because kids were reciting the gibberish. Now, this actually doesn't make sense at all because how can you ban words? Kind of goes against the whole freedom of speech thing, so it's kind of stupid on the educator's part. Also, I don't see how you'd implement this. Like, if they say the word, do you call the parents and do you have someone patrolling 24/7? But it sounds pretty stupid. I mean, of course, if they were dropping like F-bombs, then yeah, it kind of makes sense. But for something that doesn't really mean anything negative, I don't really see the issue. Now, don't get me wrong, I did talk about the negative connotation, but most kids don't actually know this connotation and just enjoy it because it's funny. But I do see the reason to ban it if the kids were using it with the meaning in mind. But I think for little kids, it's just a harmless character in theory. Still rots your mind though. Also, with typical memes like this, they're short-lived. Consumers of the trend, particularly Gen Alpha and Gen Z, grew bored. I mean, with some saying it's even 10% of the For You page, it would definitely feel boring and doesn't give you the dopamine rush if you see it tons of times on the internet already. Many Reddit posts also say something similar to the following. This user states of how everything is Brainrot and they wish to escape all of this. Similar comments state of how Brainrot is so boring now and the originality is wearing off, with comments reading stuff like, Brainrot used to be fun to watch, but now with it contaminated my feed, all the videos look the same and I can't even enjoy this platform anymore. Time to delete this account so my feed can restart fresh, hopefully. Another user stated, I restarted my account to escape the Brainrot, but it contaminated my feed once again. I don't know why the platform is promoting this type of low quality content. But rest assured, soon after, algorithms on TikTok and YouTube started to deprioritize redundant AI-generated content, and many creators started moving on. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, we can talk about its extinction, or its near extinction anyways. By mid-July 2025, daily posts and engagement with Italian Brainrot had plummeted. The game scale of Brainrot, which once had a peak of over 5 million concurrent players, dropped into the low tens of thousands, and the stock for the Brainrot coin plummeted as well. Although the stock wasn't high enough to begin with, during late May through June, the stock plummeted nearly 300%. So we can finally say that Italian Brainrot has been the old thing and is out of touch. Now obviously, channels are still making that content because they need the views, but I like to think of them as a boat on an ocean being drained, just waiting for that slow death that will most likely come to their channel. That's all the info I have for you guys, so bye.